Oh. And I think we're live, and I don't see any glitching. So welcome to the stream. This is, that was really, really retarded. Oh, wait.
No.
Oh my God. Did you see that? That was an elusive Jess. Rare on camera appearance. She's over here giving me looks. What do you got?
No.
Take two. Is it any better out there, guys? Maybe, yes.
Looks good from my end.
I think it's better. Your bunny ears. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Personally, I prefer moose ears, but okay. I'm a Dodge guy. I prefer moose ears.
Oh, because you perform like a Ford.
Oh wow! Wow! Good thing there's like nobody in the stream right now. Damn, I'm gonna need another beer already. Just started this live stream. So not sure if anybody has seen any of the new Corvette video stuff going on. I'm gonna move my camera, my thingy over here, so I'm actually looking at you guys. Have you watched any of the new like camera spy photo update videos and stuff like that?
I saw a few of them when they made the big announcement of when it was going to be released and stuff, but I haven't seen anything yet.
I was watching, wasn't Rick Conti, I forget who it was, but I was watching one of them, and they were talking about, them adding like styrofoam pieces and stuff possibly to the outside of the body to mask what the car might actually look like when it was in production, including the one where they unveiled it. I guess it was in New York. Is that where they drove it through the streets? Still all in the camo and all of that stuff. But there was the one YouTuber that I was watching, he had taken some stills from the video, and he was really looking at that area about at the back of the door, where it has the beginning of the scoop for the intake for the mid-engine. And he was talking about how he thinks that was really exaggerated for I guess for eye-catching purposes, that piece at the back of the top of the door by the door handle was not probably going to be there during production because of the fact that of the way that it was structured. It looked like it was temporary, like it was actually bolted to the body, not as part of the body, but as kind of just placed there. He said it may have been like styrofoam or cardboard, and then obviously the camo was painted over top of it, and that it was to hide a more subtle body line or a more subtle flow of the car than what was actually being shown with the camouflage on.
And I think that they do that for a reason, just so that when certain things are seen, that it leaves people to think that there's going to be this or there's not going to be that. I think they purposely leave things off the car or install things on the car just to throw people off.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, like, I agree with what he thought. I think that the intake on the, just behind the door, I think it's going to be smaller. I think that they built out around the actual intake to mask the body line of the car a little bit, along with that piece on the door, because one of his main reasons is if they left that piece on the door, it's going to be basically a gut kicker, because it's like right about your stomach level, and it is sharp and pointy and triangular right at the edge of the door. And none of the other sports cars, the big sports cars, have anything remotely like that. Even like the McLarens have those really wild scoops. The part at the end of the door where it starts transferring into the ductwork for the scoop, it's not as pronounced on the door, and it's actually it flows more with the shape of the door than what it does on the Corvette, or at least what they want us to believe. Yes, I am wearing my Corvette shirt today.
The one neither of us won.
Yeah, the one neither of us won, but it's okay. I'm still waiting on anything from that guy out in Colorado. I like most of the time I'll follow like the people who won just to see what they do with the car. I didn't even bother following this guy. I think the part that annoyed me was the fact of after I watched that he won, and then I went and checked out his Instagram. I think what deterred me was looking at his lifestyle and realizing that he probably could have afforded going out and buying this car on his own without having to wait. And it just annoyed me. It just, you know, it's like, well, that means that, you know, whether he only bought one thing or he bought a lot of things, it annoyed me because of the fact that it wasn't somebody who would have really necessarily gained from winning this car more than he could have if he would have just bought it. What's up?
I ran out of peanut butter.
What's wrong with that peanut butter?
It's not peanut butter.
What is it?
Smell it.
Ooh, what is it? Almond butter. Well, I guess you're eating almond butter.
It's not funny.
Oh, well.
I'm not eating it. I want to make cookies.
Well, then I guess you're going to have to wait to make cookies till later. She is going on this low carb thing as I'm sitting here with a giant plate full of spaghetti.
I need peanut butter.
Well, you have to go there and go get some. She has started this like low calorie keto thing. Not necessarily doing a full on keto diet because I know that's really low in carbs, but she's just low carb diet and she's been making some pretty good meals. You can see them on my Instagram, different ones here and there that actually pretty good. It surprised the crap out of me a lot of how good these meals that she's finding are, even though they're supposed to be healthy for you. What's going on in the chat? I think I saw something about Snap-on in the chat. Let's see. Bought first Snap-on tool. You know what? I don't think I've owned Snap-on tools, but I've never gone out and bought one. I haven't.
You know those ratcheting screwdrivers that you get from Snap-on? I've got like one at home and two at work. Like those are the best screwdriver ever, and it's the only Snap-on tool that I own, and I actually like it.
See, now hold on here. Give me half a second. Maybe not. I thought it was right there, but it's not there. I have just this cheap. Might be in my bag. I have just this cheap set that I picked up at Walmart. I actually have two of them. I have one at the shop, and then I have one here, which I actually went to go find the one that was here. You know what? I guess just call me cheap.
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 But I don't. I mean, if I was handed Snap-on tools, I would not be sitting there and dissing their quality because they are really good. But on the one hand, you got to weigh. Okay, I can buy one socket and wrench from.
I was not able to find that business nearby.
Well, nobody was asking you.
I need to go get peanut butter.
Bye. Don't melt. On the one hand, I can buy one ratchet and a set of sockets, or I could almost buy a whole tool set from Craftsman or Husky or, one of the big store brand tool companies.
Yeah, like a 300-piece set.
Yeah. Like at that point, you really have to worry. You have to weigh. And like for me, I don't have money to be dropping at the.
Bye.
You're really frisky today.
I'm going to get peanut butter.
Hey! Watch what you say on my live stream. You get me demonetized.
It's peanut butter.
Peanut butter, right? Peanut butter.
Peanuts butter.
All right. Anyway, so you know, on the one hand, I can sit here and I can buy, you know, a few really good tools from Snap-on, which I guess if I was doing this, well, technically, I guess I am doing it for a living, but not a, you know, this is my bread and butter living kind of living. If I was doing this to where I was doing it for a living, I could see having to, you know, I could see buying from Snap-on or Matco or one of those tool truck companies. But I guess I just have not had the need to go out and go buy that high quality of a tool, because I don't really think that there is, and I could be wrong, I don't think that there is that much of a quality increase for the price that you pay.
Or the convenience of being able to simply go to your local Lowe's, or, well, there's no more Sears in Canada, but like for us, it's Canadian Tire. They offer Mastercraft tools that have lifetime warranty, and it's just down the street.
Exactly.
So,
And if you break
know,
it, you can literally go back and exchange it there that day, that second, you know, and or, you know, you go to Snap-on, you got to wait for the Snap-on guy to come back, and then you got to hope he has another one on his truck, because if he doesn't have it on his truck, then you got to wait for him to order
if you
it.
have a Snap-on guy.
Yeah, that's if you have a Snap-on guy, if you're not just doing it online.
Yeah, well, we don't have a Snap-on guy in our area anymore.
So you got to order your stuff online if you want it, and then have it shipped to you.
Well, and I wouldn't order Snap-on. Right? I like I said, I'm with you. When it comes to certain tools, like I don't like buying the knockoff brand vice grips. I'll buy the actual Irwin brand vice grip.
Right. I have I have actual vice grips. I do have a few knockoff ones that I didn't necessarily buy. I acquired over the years from buying, you know, yard sale toolboxes. Like I do that a lot. I'll go out and, you know, you'll go around to different yard sales and you look for used tools. And if somebody's selling like a whole toolbox with everything in it, you know, because a lot of times they don't know what it is. So instead of going through it real quick, I'll just buy the toolbox and go. And I got home. I got really nice set of not mechanics, like machinist dial calibers, and shoot, what's the other one? I am drawing a blank on names, and my machine shop teacher would be kicking me in the ass right now. But you know, you got the dial calipers, and then you have the other ones that look like a C clamp. I just can't remember.
I know what you're talking about.
You know, yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about. But
yeah.
Anyway, micrometers. That's what it is. Thank you, Pilot. But there was a bunch of other different stuff. You know, different stuff that would be really of nice to have had. Except for like the one that I would use, that I could, a dial indicator. There was a really nice set of that would have been really nice, but somebody left it somewhere, it got moist, and so it built up. You know, it didn't move as free as it should, which means it's not going to be as accurate as it needs to be, especially if I want to use it for like determining whether or not the piston wall is the same depth all the way down through. You know, different other things like that. I wouldn't have been able to use it for that because it wouldn't have been accurate enough. And it really sucks, because that's like, those are expensive. And it literally, I got them in this toolbox for like $20. Now I did the dial calibers were good and the micrometers were good, and I kept them. But the dial indicator was bad. I ended up having to, you know, I think I still I have hung on to it, but I don't use it. All kinds of different stuff. All kinds of different punches for, like, you know, putting names and stuff on stuff like the alphabet punches and all that. And I think I paid like $20 for that toolbox. And I probably walked out with well over $300 worth of tools that were usable out of it. Well, that's where I tend to find.
Get a bargain where you can, I guess, eh?
Well, exactly. You know, you never know what you're going to find, and you know, it may look like junk when you first look at it until you start digging into it. You know, different things.
Well, listen, you've got a pretty good
Society,
crowd there right now, so I've got to take off.
All right, see ya. The dial indicator. Thank you for joining, by the way. I know that.
No worries.
We had some technical difficulties in the beginning, but We got it. Thank you for popping in. Maybe somebody else will pop in here in a little bit and join me up here on stage. Otherwise, it's just going to be me in the chat room.
All right, and don't
Until
forget
next
to
week, Jason.
check out my Tuesday upload.
Yep.
New
And
project car.
Yeah, I think I caught a glimpse of it, and I'm not going to give it away here. So if you haven't checked out his new video with his new project car, go check it out. Go hop on his channel, and let's see what he has. We still need to get him up to 3,000 subs. 2,000. Okay, and you're catching up to me pretty good.
I just hit
You just
1301
climbed over.
tonight.
Yeah, you just climbed over 1,300.
Yeah.
And I'm at 1,317, so you're not far behind me now.
You're kitty.
I give you 2 weeks to pass me. If you don't pass me in 2 weeks, I'm gonna be asking what will happen.
Anyways, I gotta go.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, yeah, the dial bore indicator, yes, but this was more of a universal one. It had the ability to be just a dial indicator, but it also had the ability to screw in the other parts to be able to make it the bore style indicator. It was a really nice one, but like I said, it's a shame that somebody didn't take care of it, and it, you know, I mean, I'm sure somebody could restore it, but I wasn't going at the time that I found it, which I think I was like 23, 24. I wasn't going to sit there and mess with it and take it apart and try and fix it. And yeah, that sucks, Pilot, but hopefully you find yourself a new toy to play with. And because I mean, I've had my classic cars this whole time, but I have been without the ability to drive them since 2015. So yeah, I have not driven the TA since 2015, and I have not driven the Nova since 2013. So I definitely know what it feels like to be without a muscle car, even though I am a muscle car channel. We got to get a conversation going on in this chat room because I don't have anybody else up here to chit chat with. I don't believe I'm going to the Power Tour. I don't believe it's stopping anywhere near me. I think it's coming from down south and going up to Ohio, which I'm not driving all the way out to Ohio without a fun car to drive out there in. The only thing I got going on right now is the Kia, and yeah, I don't feel like doing a road trip in the Kia. You get great gas mileage, but not necessarily the most glamorous car to go check out things. Oh. All right. So, what does everybody else think about the new Corvette? Anything anything you don't like about it or are looking forward to finding out? And would you rather go out and go get a C7 instead of getting the C8? Personally, I think I'd rather go out and go get the C7s because I'm sure they're going to drop in price when the C8 comes out. And personally, I like the C7 better than the C8. I don't like it. Yeah, I'm sure there are going to be a bunch of YouTubers on the Power Tour. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's going to be heavier. I'm assuming it's going to be heavier than the C7, and the C7 was already pretty heavy. But yet the weight is going to be more towards the back, which should help with handling. But then again, some of the best handling cars are still front-wheel drive. I mean, you look at the Dodge Viper and how well it does on Nürburgring, and it's still front-wheel drive. I mean, front engine, rear-wheel drive. Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to what the C7 is actually going to look. I mean, the C8 is actually going to look like. I think it's not. I think it's going to be a little curvier than what they're showing in what they're letting people see. I think it's going to be a little curvier. I don't think it's going to be as aggressive in the back end as it with the scoop as it is depicted in the spy shots. There's a few Corvette drivetrain kit cars out there. There's one that almost looks directly like a freaking Corvette, though I don't believe it's mid-engine. Oh, he did say mid-engine Corvette with a Vette drivetrain. Trying to figure out how they'd pull that off, unless they just got rid of the drive shaft tube. Oh, one thing I hate about doing live streams without having somebody else there with me is the fact of not having that instant conversation back and forth. First year will be the bug. Well, yeah, that's always the way it is. The first year of any new redesign is always a pain in the butt. I almost try to load, but it's going to not load. Oh, Factory 5. I like the Factory 5's Cobras, and I always wanted one of the Factory 5 Daytona Coupes. I always thought they were pretty badass. What about the 84 Corvette? Oh, okay. Yeah. The Crossfire Gremlin. Listening while working on the Trans Am on my Trans Cross member. What are you working on, Classic? What vehicle? Personally, I like the 80, 81, 82 Corvettes as far as body style wise. I know that we're not the most spectacular as performance wise, but I just like the way that it looked. I'll have to go check out that Factory 5 you guys are talking about. 66 Buick Special. I remember when I was growing up, my stepfather did a what was it? It was I think it was a Buick. Not a Firestar. What was it? I feel like an idiot because I brought it up and now I don't remember what the engine was. Starfire? Firestar? I don't know. It was some weird name. Well, that would have to be a prototype because no production cars were made in '83 because they couldn't get the car off the assembly line or off the engineer floor soon enough to be able to make it an 83 model year. That's what it is. Yeah, Starfire. But yeah, he rebuilt a Starfire on our back porch for a car, and it ended up becoming a an award winner too. And it was built on a back porch. I remember them pulling the car up onto the concrete slab to drop the motor in. No, Starfire was definitely the name. It's so quiet. makes me really self-conscious when I'm up here and I'm literally just talking to myself. No, I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to you guys in the chat room. But to me, it feels like I'm talking to myself because I'm the only one here and I'm talking to a camera, which it basically just like talking to that's my view. That is you guys. Taking a wagon on the power tour, 2 legs only though, just 1 weekend. You'll have to have Chris send me that link to my Facebook so I can actually view it. I'm not, if I click on it here, I'm going to lose the chat, which is the only communication I got between anybody right now because, like I said, I don't have anybody else up on the thing. Nikolai, I had Jason in here for a little while, but you know he never stays long. He's got other things to do, and by the time that I get on, it's like after 10 o'clock his time. So, you know, any much later, and it gets pretty late for him. My best bet would be to get somebody from the West Coast to join, because then it'd be a lot earlier. Oh, I'm not even eating my spaghetti. It's getting over here getting cold. Oh well. Oh. I gotta turn off the notifications on that group. Turn off notifications because you guys are blowing up my phone. There we go. Only 9 here, and NASCAR is still on. You know what? I didn't even realize there was a NASCAR race. I haven't followed stock car racing since Jeff Gordon retired, and I literally only followed it while Jeff Gordon was still racing because of the fact that he was still racing. I have lost complete interest in stock car racing since the car of tomorrow, and even before that, when they changed the rules back in when did they change the rules and went to the I haven't, let's just say I have not been exactly happy with NASCAR since they went to the chase format. I think they should just go back to the way it was, to where, you know, everybody was hunting down the whole freaking season, and that's what it is. So I mean, I used to live and breathe stock car racing. I mean, oh, that's right. You know, I still have some of my die casts, the ones that were in the storage locker, I still have. Though 90% of my Jeff Gordon collection is gone, which is a shame, but it is what it is. Stay. Are they running the Camaros and Mustangs in the top tier class too? Though I don't think they look like freaking Mustang Camaros either. I've seen the ones that they were running in the Bush, what was the Bush series. I don't even know what they call it now, and they don't look like a Mustang or a Camaro. I mean, I guess the front grille is somewhat on there, but this whole freaking the everything that I have seen so far from NASCAR in the last 2 or 3 years has literally turned me off from it. I have no interest in watching it. In fact, I have more interest in watching what they're doing over in Australia with the V8 cars than I do with the stock car racing. I don't know. It just literally, I have no interest in the drivers. I have no interest in the sport, and yeah, it's a shame. Hey, Impact Garage, welcome aboard. It's a pretty lazy stream today. It's just me up here on camera. I don't got nobody else with me today. GTM is the model I saw. Now me, I don't like stock car, but I like the late model racing. Same thing, just late model is just a smaller motor. Yeah, but that's a lot of dirt track racing or small track racing. I do like the bigger tracks, and I really, really, really did like NASCAR when I was a kid. Um, yeah, it's. I mean, I understand that they have to move up with the times, but they took away all of the ability for the drivers and everything to be able to tweak the car. It's no longer. I would say it's almost too competitive. The cars are so similar, and honestly, even the drivers are so cookie cutter anymore. I remember back when I was watching stock car racing, and the drivers had personalities. I mean, I couldn't. I've watched a few stuff, on sports channels and stuff like that, and honestly, the drivers are boring. They're not interesting to. They have no personality. It's all about um, sponsor image. It's just I have no desire to watch it anymore. Impact Garage, I don't think it has ever been that way. I hate to tell you that. You could never go and buy the car that you saw on Sunday. You can buy a similar body looking car, but there's such a difference from the way that the cars were on the track to what was actually in the showroom. You could never ever pick up a car, not since the 50s. Even the 70s, the cars looked like a stock, like a regular car from the street, but they were so not. That's where that stopped. It stopped from the way that they looked. The only thing that was factory about them was a rear deck lid and the hood. Yeah, right. It's not about the rate. It's all about making sure that as many sponsors are on the television at one time as they possibly can fit. And that's exactly it. That's the whole reason they do the stage racing. It's the whole reason they do it so that way they can group all the cars back up together and all of the sponsorships are happy. It's all about money and sponsorships. It's no longer about the racing. It's not. It is literally about money. Exactly. It is. It's all about making sure that they are getting their sponsorship on camera as much as possible. These guys don't run. They don't run to win. They don't run to lead as many laps as they can. They don't. The drive is not there. They fucked NASCAR up. They did. I has a spoop in the window. Not sure if you caught that, but he just snuck in the window right there. Um. Yeah, I have much more fun watching the there. Way to fail. I have much more fun watching the local short track races than I do going up and seeing the big boys because it's boring. They don't race like they used to. They don't drive like their career depends on it. It's a shame that I freaking work next weekend, Nikolai. I would have gone with you. Depending on what time it is and where it's at, I don't even know where it's at. Still can't beat this. You know what? The one thing that I would go for is the sound of the engines, the smell. That I miss. I miss the um. I just miss the smell and the sound and the feeling in your chest when they start up. That I do miss. I used to love going to Dover Downs all the time. Yeah, I understand the late models run the same as the NASCAR, but I don't believe the late models are um, gone over with a fine-tuned comb, fine-tooth comb as much as the NASCAR ones are, to where there's no wiggle room to play with the rules. I don't want to see. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to see Jeff Gordon in That's like watching Darrell Waltrip when he was doing commentary. That does not interest me. I didn't like it. I have no interest in seeing them in commentary because honestly, okay, they're commentating and they have personality up in the commentary booth, but the drivers down in the track have no personality and no drive. So it doesn't. It's still there's no desire there for me to freaking spend 4 hours watching a race for people I have no interest and no investment in. And that's what it is, and that's where you get the competitive nature. You have your base set of rules, and that's what made NASCAR great back in the day. But yet, you have some gray area to play with, and that's where you can make your car better or what have you than the guy next to you, is to being able to be smart enough to realize that you can do this and get a little bit extra edge on the guy next to you, but yet still be within the rules. And that's what made NASCAR great in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, was to be was to be able to do that. Hey Pete, I didn't even see you in here. We have Pete from Camaro Time in here. Exactly, yeah. It was better when they were cheating. It made the races more interesting. You had people that could pass. You could, there was it was just a lot more exciting. I have no love for Jimmy Johnson either. I know he was Jeff Gordon's boy, but I still have no love for Jimmy Johnson. Uh, well, yeah, you could buy them. You could buy them. They did buy the cars from the factory, but the modifications that they did to the cars from the time that they picked them up to the time that they hit the track made them not stock anymore. And so I'm not saying that they didn't pick up the cars. They did have to run a stock bodied car, but the problem is like I said, what they did with that car after they picked it up is the difference. They definitely heavily modified those cars. They were not stock by the time they hit the track in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, they essentially started with a stock car, but they modified the crap out of them. You know what? I don't have no idea even how what stream is doing. I didn't even look. Not too bad. All right, so where are we at? Watch lawnmowers race down the hill. So, what's fake about the Street Outlaws? Three will never be the same. I agree with that. I agree with that impact. Yeah, I mean, the car of tomorrow. I mean, the problem is you cannot run a car that is manufactured today on the track and it be safe. It's just not. They're not designed like they were before. You could not run a stock car today and run it on the track at 180 miles an hour and feel safe. Not a Toyota Camry, not whatever they're running now. I don't think that, number one, none of them are running front engine, rear wheel drive anymore. So I mean, if you're going to do a true stock car, well, then it would have to be the engine configuration it comes from the factory. And unless they start producing, front engine, rear wheel drive cars from the factory, they haven't been doing that since the 90s. I mean, they ran the Monte Carlo in the late 90s, and that was a front wheel drive car. It may have looked like a Monte Carlo still, at least at that point, but they were just. Oh, okay. I understand what you're talking about, Miss Formula. Street Outlaws, yeah, that a lot of that was made for TV. But I thought you were talking about like the circle track winged cars. That's because I didn't realize you guys had switched to TV shows. I agree. Though I was a fan of some of the cars that were on there. I don't even watch television anymore. I do most of my watching on YouTube. And if I am interested in a show, I watch it online. So I mean, that's another thing. That's another thing that hurt me as far as watching stock car racing is the fact that I don't have cable. So for me, like when I first started not having cable, I could still catch the races being streamed on different websites. So I could still watch. I could still watch the NASCAR races. But I think, what was it, around 2010, 2011, they really cracked down on being able to find live events being streamed from different locations. And so, like, for me to be able to find NASCAR without having to pay for like 6 different TV companies, because NASCAR isn't just on one station. So like the first part of the season, I'd have to buy something that had Fox, and then I'd have to buy NBC, and then if I want to just be able to buy a single channel, because I don't pay for the big cable companies and these big TV things. I mean, even the Hulu and the Amazon Prime and stuff like that is annoying. Why should I have to buy a 50-pack thing of TV stations when I only want to watch 1 or 2 of the stations that are on it? So I just give it up. If I can't find it somewhere, I just don't watch it. And that's what it is with NASCAR. I mean, you can't find a NASCAR race unless you're going to pay for Fox or for NBC or for whatever, or you're going to miss half the races. So that's another reason I gave up on it. As soon as they took NASCAR off of the public stations where I can watch it on anything that I can get an antenna signal, it's stupid. That was the one cool thing about NASCAR, is you could watch it anywhere. That's fine, Nikolai. And yeah, rubbing is racing, and everybody's offended by everything, and God forbid somebody touches somebody else. And I agree with you. All the cars look identical. I mean, at least in the late 90s, a Monte Carlo looked like a Monte Carlo. The Dodge Intrepid looked like a Dodge Intrepid. The Grand Prix looked like a Grand Prix. They at least looked like different cars, and they all had different aero characteristics. So each car, that's why I used to watch some race teams. They would run a Dodge at one race and they would run a Pontiac at another, because the Dodge did better at this track and the Pontiac did better at that track because of their body shape. Your mileage may vary. What's Galactic TV? Uh, Elliot's 2 minute, 212-mile-an-hour qualifying lap. I remember that. Galactic box. Okay, I don't know. I've seen some G bodies cloned into NASCAR cars before. They were sweet. Yeah, I have seen some actual street cars that have been done up to look like stock cars. Thank you, Chris. I'll take a look at that later. Receives TV and movies over the internet. Yeah, but my thing is I don't know. I'll have to look at it. I was never a fan of the restrictor plates either. But then again, the cars were getting way too fast for the safety technology that we had either. You know, we were losing some really good drivers because of some really bad safety tech. I don't think they have to restrict them as much as some of this, as much as they do in some of the things. You know, but the other thing they could have done is they could have they could have slowed the cars down with the transmissions instead of just with the instead of with the carburetor. You know, make it so that they, you know, they can only you know, if they played with the gearing and the transmission in the rear end, they could have gotten the cars to slow down a lot more while still keeping the racing fun because they weren't taking the power away from the engines. You know, I think there was a better way to do it than a restrictor plate, but you know, I'm not the head of NASCAR, so I can't sit here and, you know, point fingers. So, have you all hit the like button yet? If you haven't, why not? Let's see. Kind of curious, has anybody actually checked out my Teespring account and have any feedback on any of the designs? Which ones do you like? Which ones don't you like? What designs would you like to see in the future? I'm getting ready to revamp the line and kind of want some feedback. So if you guys haven't checked out my Teespring yet, please go do so and give me some feedback. Let me know what you guys think of what I have up there. The link should be down in the description if you guys want to go check it out real quick. I also have a second line for if you're a fourth generation Nova. There's some really cool Nova shirts over there. I don't have that one on there, but I can give you the link if you guys would like it. And yeah, I know that they were trying to find a way to slow them down, but I think there would have been a better way to slow them down where you wouldn't be taking away for the opportunity for cars to be able to make passes. That's just my take on it, though. But like I said, if you guys have or have not checked out my Teespring account, I'm looking for some feedback on some different stuff, what people like and what people don't like, because I want to bring merch that you guys actually want to purchase. and don't think I've really gotten a lot of feedback for what I have up there and whether or not people like it or not. So would really like some feedback on my t-shirt designs and different things. Let me know what I can do different and what you think will be more appealing to that people would actually want to be putting on. Definitely take any opinions. Oh, hopefully Nikolai pops up in here shortly, because I'm actually running out of ideas. It's only 10:20. I don't know if Elliot's joining. Doo-doo-doo. There we go. Oh my God, really? Why do I get all of the fun people? I am from Pennsylvania up here. Paint Hearts never won fast races. Bunch of kids driving instead of brass ball holders anymore. Do you like the? Is that the literally the solid color one impact? Yeah. Send me your email address. Impact. How are you? Did you go to the Galant Motorsports thing? Sorry, I'm trying to get Nikolai in here. All right, invite sent there, Nikolai. Yeah, and I'm on different websites and stuff like that as well. But it's like really what it's I need to set up my block list. Hey Nikolai, I need to set up my block list so that way it catches that stuff before it even pops up. Because I don't know, it's just disruptive. I mean, it's one thing when you have a live stream where you have the chat's going by so fast that that stuff doesn't bother you. But when you have a smaller live stream like mine, like right now we only have 8 people in the live stream right now, and somebody comes in and trolls like that, it makes it hard. And no, you can't block by IP address. I literally have to block each and individual person that pops in that does that. Or I can also cause certain words to be automatically held for review. But they realize what words people use, And if you notice, there was no words that would normally have triggered my review thing with that. So, like, nothing that guy said would have caught a red flag for YouTube to hold that comment.
What did I miss?
Oh, somebody came in here talking about freaking walking in on his daughter getting dressed.
Oh, that's just messed up.
It was literally just a troll. But it's really disruptive. But I mean, I've had some fun trolls. We had the FBI, the CIA, and the NFA. Is it NFA? I don't know. A bunch of three-letter government agencies, and they were in here chit-chatting back and forth. There were like 4 or 5 of them going on at once, and they weren't saying anything that would have caused me to need to block them, except for the fact that they were just totally derailing my live stream.
Yeah.
But we had a little bit of fun with them. I posted them on in the group chat, screenshots from it. 410 or 411
for
gear.
that one.
I thought it would have been a 411. I don't think they make a 410, do they?
What?
Rear gear. Ring and pinion set. Would have been a 411.
It might.
I don't know. Oh.
So
Well,
what
that's
do you think
because
about
you
this
can.
heat up here?
What heat? I didn't think it was hot today.
The 88-degree weather we had.
I don't know. It just felt like felt like regular day up here.
I was also laying cemento today, so I'll do it.
Well, yeah, that'll do it. Well, I mean, YouTube. The thing is you have to at that point you have to balance where is the freedom of expression stop and overbearing control start. I mean, you talk about, I can't believe YouTube let someone set up an account like that. But then again, you know, we're all sitting here bitching because our shit's getting demonetized, you know, for stupid stuff. You got to think about that. How many accounts might be created every day, and YouTube doesn't have somebody to be able to sit there and monitor every account that gets freaking created. What ends up happening is you have these automated accounts that come through, and we have the monetization apocalypse. You know, we have the, what do they call that? The ad apocalypse. You know, you have the fact that you get all of these things, your video gets flagged. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, because I have Trans Am in most of my titles, every single video I put up got flagged that I had the word Trans Am in. Why? Because they were freaking they were flagging anything with the word trans.
Wow.
Because of, you know, the whole it's just you want to be land of the free, but yet you want to complain because somebody uses their right of freedom. So then you want to restrict their freedoms. Well, then it doesn't become the land of the free anymore. You know, I'm sorry, but you know, grow a set and get over it. If I don't want him on my channel, I'll just block him. You know, eventually he's going to end up with nowhere to freaking go and whatever. That's fine with me. I mean, I support anybody's right of freedom of speech and, you know, to do what they want. You know, but this is my live stream, and if I don't want him here, I can remove him.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, you're not gonna the more you try to stop a troll, the more you're just gonna hurt the people that are using the service the correct way. You know, that's just like gun laws. Gun laws only pertain to the people that actually want to follow the rules. The people that don't want to follow the rules, gun laws don't do diddly shit for. The same thing goes with YouTube. You know, YouTube and all of their rules and community guidelines and all of that stuff, the only people that they end up actually hurting are the people that are just trying to do the normal things. I can't tell you how many farm channels, how many gun channels that were doing it responsibly ended up getting hurt because of the fact of somebody complaining about the bad channels. You know, a bad channel won't be getting any credit if you don't watch it. You know, but instead you get like channels that I followed where they literally got most of their videos removed because they were doing normal farm things. You know, butchering a cow is normal, but yet somebody's going to be offended by it. You know,
There's something sitting behind me that I can't. I'm not gonna show.
And we're not going to show it.
Why not? That's why.
No, we're not going to. You know? But the thing is Chris, is the fact that, yeah, liberal media sucks, but yet we have exactly, you know, the exact reason why they're here was just now. You know, you want to complain about this, but then you want the freedom to do this. You know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want the freedom to do what you want, well, then they're going to have the freedom to do what they want as well. And if you want to restrict them, you're going to end up restricting yourself. You know, if I want the ability to sit here and shoot a pistol off, you know, without thing, well, then I can't complain about somebody else doing the same thing. You know, if I want the ability to be pissed off and make an angry comment, well, then I can't get pissed off when somebody else makes an angry comment. You know, that's you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm not a white picket fence, church on Sunday, you know, squeaky clean guy. I'm not. You know, I'm a normal, regular human being, and for me to bitch about somebody else's, you know, get offs, well, then I'd be a pot calling the kettle black if I want to bitch about them. But anyway, let's get back to car stuff. Year, make, and model of your personal favorite muscle car. Not popular opinion, just a car that, whether it had been a car that your dad owned growing up or you saw a friend have, you know, just what is, when you hear muscle car or you have a dream car, what comes to your mind first? Not the popular opinion.
Camaro SS.
Now, why the SS? Why the SS? Why not the RS? Why not the base model? What is it about the SS that makes you want that over the other models?
I'll choose any of them if I could 1970, but I choose the SS because it has more of a, how can I put it? I like more of the way it's set up than I do the RSs, the Rally Sports, and all that.
Because I mean, the thing is you at that point you need to know what makes an SS an SS, what makes an RS an SS, RS, and did you know you can get a RS SS? Did you know you could get I'm not sure if it came out as an SS RS or an RS SS, but you can get both options.
No, I never heard of that.
Yeah, my buddy. I don't know how many people in this chat have heard of Rare Rat. It's exactly how it sounds, but one word. So it's Rare Rat in one word. He has a 1960. It's either a 67, I think it's a 67 RSSS in butternut yellow with a black interior, and it has a 427 in it, I think. And he's owned that car since he was 18. So, yeah, I mean, I have several cars. I mean, obviously, I already own my dream car. My car that, as I was a kid, I already owned that one. That's my 79 TA. I fell in love with that car when I was a kid. and have wanted it my whole life and really, really fought to get it. Though I do have several other iconic cars. I mean, I like those 71, 72 Chevelles. I know a lot of people like the 69 and 70. I like the 71, 72s. I like the tail lights better. I like the single headlight buckets in the front. You know, that is my iconic big block, big bodied muscle car. Super duper. I wish they made the Super Duty 455s in the Trans Ams in the later years. I would have loved to have the 1976 Super Duty 455. Why, you locked out? Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Nikolai, take over.
Talking about here. Understand. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat.
Went shopping for peanut butter.
Oh, where's the chat at? Oh, my phone behind. Yanko Nova.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice.
Oh.
I don't fall into Yanko that much.
Oh, you know how many times you go to Walmart for one thing? She went out to Walmart to get peanut butter, and she comes back with 4 fully loaded grocery bags full of shit. Peanut butter. So only car my dad would have had traded for his factory special order 67 Mustang was for the Superbird. You know what? I mean, I really like the way the Superbird looked, but I don't think I would have wanted to own one. Just, I think I would have rather had a regular Charger.
I definitely got peanut butter.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's a big jar of peanut butter. It's going to take us forever to get through that. 68 Charger, yes. Specifically the 68. The 4 round headlights, the 4 round taillights, plus the round side marker lights, undivided grill made it the best Charger. I think personally though, I would probably have a bastard Charger. There's like different things that I like about different years, and I think that if I were to make my own Charger, I think I would have to splice a couple years together.
1 second.
You mute it, man. Mute it. Whenever you join a live stream, mute your phone. Black Hemi 4-speed with the black vinyl top. Oof. All right. Let's see. He kept the Mustang. The dealer would get a Superbird in for him to test drive. There you go. See, now I had, like I said, my mom had a couple Mustangs and a couple Trans Ams. My father fucked a lot of them up. The 79, which was the car that I came home from the hospital in when I was born, my mom went and sold it down in Georgia, and they drove it all the way down there. And the morning that they were supposed to deliver it to the new owner, my father took it out for a joyride and ended up getting T-boned in it. My mom was not quite happy with him. I mean, she lost the sale, obviously, so she was out the money that she was getting for the car. Then she was also out the fact that, you know, the car is now totaled, so she doesn't have the car either. So yeah, she was not happy with that one.
What year was it?
79. Same thing that I have. But hers was the 79. Hers was a 79 special edition gold 400 4-speed T-top car.
Oh.
So it wasn't the black one. It was the gold one. So it was a 79 gold edition, special edition gold, 400 4-speed, with the T-tops.
Huh. Hey, a nice car.
See, I don't like the 4 headlights in the front. I like the single headlights. There is a, I don't know what color that green is, but you know that light metallic green that they had for those Chevelles back then.
Yeah.
It's almost like a pewter green. There was one of them sitting up at the Walmart earlier today. It was a 1970. I think it was a 70. Round tail lights, undivided front marker light. I think that's a 70. I think that's a 71. Maybe it was a 70. No, it was a 72. 72, I think, had the undivided front marker lights. Yeah, well, that was the gold 400 SE car was the car that I came home from the hospital. It was the very first car I've ever rode in. Well, outside the womb. So yeah, I was, only a couple days out of the hospital. I mean, from being born, and I was already riding in a really cool muscle car. So I got the bug early.
Yeah.
Yeah, when your first ever car ride is in a Trans Am, you're hooked for life.
Sorry for not paying attention. I'm editing a video.
That's fine. You edit it on your phone.
Computer.
Oh, I'm using my computer at the moment.
I'm editing on the movie maker.
I got frustrated with Movie Maker. I used it for a little while. In fact, actually a couple years, and then I got frustrated with the limitations that I had to be able to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That video that I did for the Cars and Coffee,
Yeah.
that was done with Filmora. I would not have been able to do that video with Movie Maker. I'd be sweet. I'll look out for it. Just drove a 77, 78 T-top 400 4-speed TA in virtual reality. The video.
No, it's funny. It's video.
Impact. Hold on. Impact. There is nothing. You can drive that in virtual reality all you want. When you get to drive one in person, or you get to ride passenger in one, you will. It is a completely different experience. I mean, if I had mine going, I'd come down there and let you give you a ride in it. But there is a complete different experience for anything, because I mean I've been driving. I've been playing Forza and Gran Turismo since I was like 8 years old. Well, maybe not that early, but I've been driving in simulation race cars, since they came out. I bought the original first Gran Turismo way back when. And there's no comparison.
No. I mean, see, if you look at like one of the newer Forza games, their Trans Ams, even the Euroshan, nothing compared to them.
No, they're so slow.
Yeah.
Any of the muscle cars in the video games, what you're not getting is, I mean, yeah, granted, I know that my car is not necessarily super fast, but what you don't get is you don't get the feeling that the car gives you. You don't get the rumble in your chest. You don't get the torque that pulls you in the back of the seat. You don't feel any of that in a video game.
Yeah. You don't feel a rumble in your chest from the cam in the car or really anything. You don't get the smell of the gasoline.
I'm not criticizing Impact. I mean, you think you took that completely the wrong way. And and I didn't mean to offend you if I did. That was not my point. I'm sorry. I don't think there's ever a video game out there that will compare to actually driving a muscle car. Oh, so yeah, I apologize, Impact, if you took that wrong. What are you editing there, Nikolai?
Oh, it's something for a firehouse.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm gonna upload to YouTube or not.
I think you should try downloading either DaVinci or Familiar.
Yeah.
And play around with that. I think that
well, I can't do that right now because I'm on my school computer. I'm not on my.
I got you.
I mean, I have a computer sitting over there, but it doesn't work. I mean, I can't get it to work anyway. I can't break the password.
Oh, it's got a password on it.
Yep, can't break it.
At that point, I would just reinstall BIOS and start over. Just flash the hard drive and reinstall Windows.
I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I think I'm just gonna put money away and go out and get a new one.
Yeah.
Here's something like from Rent-A-Center, renting something like that.
Those ones don't have enough power for me. Oh, what time is it? 10:46. I have a watch. I just looked at it.
What time is it?
It's 10:46.
Wow, it says 10:32 on here.
Well, you're off because both my
I know I'm off. I'm always off. What are you talking about? Yeah, my computer's off.
yeah. So both my 10:46.
Yeah, I know this is off. My computer's off on everything. You should see the timing on my Xbox. Right now on there it's probably 8:32.
I used to love playing Forza Impact until but it really has not been the same since Forza 4. The way that they have set up the lobbies now, you end up getting a lot of trolls and a lot of just really bad sports in the open lobbies, and it makes it not as fun to play.
Yeah, this is
You used to be able to vote and kick them out before, and now it's damn near impossible to out.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you guys lucky? I have to work tomorrow.
I get to March.
I don't have off till Friday. Huh?
I get to March tomorrow.
What? Oh, well, I'll be at work, so I'll be taking care of. Do what?
So don't worry, I'll be falling over by the end of town.
Yeah.
I won't be moving tomorrow. After that, 2.5
if I ever get my shoulder to freaking feel right again, I've been putting off some of the things to do with my car because of the fact of not wanting to lift.
Have you been out there lately?
My shoulder's been injured since like the end of April.
Ooh.
You have an unplanned week off. That doesn't sound like a good thing.
What was unplanned? I'm off a week. Mine was unplanned. Well, that doesn't sound right.
No, being an unscheduled week off is not. Well, it depends. You know, if you're unscheduled off, you're not getting paid for it. That kind of sucks because you were expecting that money. But if it's a paid week off or something like that, then that's different. Like I have paid week off here and there but most of mine are planned. Oh, that's right. You got hurt.
Yeah. What do you do?
I forget what he told me he did.
What you do, Firebird?
Well, his name's Chris, which would be actually more an easier way to say it than Firebird Nation Car Club.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's Chris in our live stream chat.
Oh,
But I guess I might end it here shortly. Oh, because I'm getting tired.
I know that feeling.
Pilot, what did you do for a living while you were working?
Man, I've been doing concrete work.
Pay good. Was that job that you were talking about when we went out to the junkyard?
No, that was sewage.
Oh, no, that sounds like a shitty job.
It is a shitty job, but I didn't take it. They're gonna pay me $7.25 to go into porta potties to clean them fuckers out. No.
4-foot drop out the back trailer. Run my kneecap down back of wagon to the. Ow! Owie, owie, ow, ow.
I'll pass on that one.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, the cat just about had a head-on collision in the hallway.
You should be happy I don't have my huge ass dog in here.
Your what?
My big ass dog, the Saint Bernard.
Oh. Oh.
This just tells you how late the live stream is. On my end, it's just saying about, you were saying what time it was.
Oh, okay. Well, you can move it forward so that way it's not so far behind.
Yeah, I'm a minute and something behind. Oh, now we're up farther.
I saw your wheel stand on Instagram, I think.
Wheel stand. Which one's that?
His Impact Garage, he built his own personal wheel and pedal setup for gaming. I'm not sure if who the hell was it? Is it Ryers? He's one of the 717 crew. He has that red Lamborghini. His gaming setup, his gaming rig for racing is freaking insane.
Nope.
But it's also like an insane price as well too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. I'd rather you in one piece there, Pete.
I mean, nothing's worse than crushing my finger under a 30-pound block of bricks. Ow.
Drop an engine on your foot and you tell me.
I'll pass on that one.
Been there, done that. We had a crash down in Myerstown. I think it was last week. Head-on collision. Group of kids was trying to use the turning lane, the double dashed center lane as a passing lane. Hit head on to an older couple in a truck. One casualty and 4 critically injured.
Did you hear about the crash that was down the road from you today?
No.
Yeah, some lady got T-boned.
Where?
Right there about the, where Hang Loose is at, the bar.
I'm not sure which one that is. Is that that one with is that one with the choo-choo train?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What'd she do? Pull out onto the main street and get freaking nailed by somebody?
Oh, she was driving. There's a story behind this. She cut me and my stepdad off today. Well, we went home. Who cares? Well, I found out today, or earlier, just a little bit ago, I was on the firehouse. We got called to the scene, and she some car T-boned her because they went around on a red light, went around the car and got hit.
Wait, so she went around a car at a red light, went to go through the intersection, and got T-boned.
Yep.
Oh, stupid people.
Exactly. I mean, she's lucky she didn't get injured.
I find so many stupid people on the road. And if you ever watch like the crash compilations on YouTube and stuff, and you can just see the shit coming, you're like, well, they're gonna go do this, or you know, because it's just people are freaking stupid.
Yeah. You would think, all right, there's this, that. Don't do that.
Yeah, just have a little bit of patience. That's all it takes.
That's
It's everybody being super impatient. Well, it's rolling on 11 o'clock at night, so I'm going to wrap up this video. If you haven't checked out my YouTube, not my Instagram. Well, if you haven't checked out my Instagram, please do. But if you haven't checked out my Teespring account yet, please do. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think, what you like, what you don't like. And I'm going to be revamping it soon. I'll keep the ones that are people like, and I'll probably get rid of the ones that aren't selling. So if there's any that you like and you don't know if I'm going to keep it, you might want to go pick one up soon. So until next week, peace, be safe, and I'll see you next week.